In July 1984, the quiet community of Rosedale, Maryland was shattered. A 9-year-old girl named Dawn Hamilton was found murdered in a wooded area. The community demanded justice, and the police scrambled for leads. Enter Kirk Bloodsworth, a 22-year-old former Marine with no criminal record, recently returned to his home state. He had absolutely nothing to do with the case, yet within weeks his life would be completely upended, making him the face of a terrifying flaw in the American justice system. Police relied heavily on descriptions from several neighborhood children who saw a man speaking to Dawn earlier that day. Based on their words, a police artist created a composite sketch of a tall, thin man with curly hair and a mustache. Through a series of misdirected tips, an anonymous caller suggested Kirk Bloodsworth resembled the sketch. Despite the fact that Bloodsworth was 6 feet tall, weighed over 200 pounds, and had straight hair, investigators locked onto him as their prime suspect. The prosecution's case rested almost entirely on eyewitness testimony. During the 1985 trial, 2 neighborhood boys picked him out of a physical lineup, though records later showed the process was highly suggestive. There was absolutely no physical evidence linking Bloodsworth to the crime. No blood, no fingerprints, no fibers, yet a solid alibi with family testifying he was at home at the time of the murder. But the eyewitness swayed the jury. Kirk Bloodsworth was convicted and sentenced to death. Bloodsworth spent 2 years on death row, constantly maintaining his innocence. In 1986, his conviction was overturned on appeal due to withheld evidence, but a second trial in 1987 convicted him again, this time sentencing him to 2 life terms. In 1992, the prosecution agreed to submit biological evidence for a then-emerging DNA technology known as polymerase chain reaction. The test excluded Bloodsworth as a source of biological evidence in the case. The results were definitive. The DNA did not match Bloodsworth. In June 1993, after serving 8 years, he was released. Later receiving a full gubernatorial pardon, he made history as the first American sentenced to death to be fully exonerated by DNA evidence. In 2003, the real killer was found. The DNA matched Kimberly Shea Ruffner, an inmate who had ironically lifted weights with Bloodsworth in the same prison. Today, Kirk Bloodsworth is a tireless advocate for justice reform. His story serves as a stark reminder of a fragile line between guilt and innocence.
He took a bite of a boneless wing. He took a bite of a boneless wing.